of cold that bites. It observes, patiently, quietly. I saw her before she saw me. 3 years. 3 years of silence that rotted in the back of my throat like an unburied truth. She was laughing with someone, a man, tall, unfamiliar. The same laugh she used to use on me, carefully measured, slightly tilted, meant to disarm. I could tell she hadn't changed much, except her eyes. They didn't sparkle anymore. They twitched, always scanning, always hiding. When she finally noticed me standing near the shore, everything inside her stopped moving. Her hand froze mid-air. The man beside her asked something, but she didn't answer. Her face, God, that face, completely broke. Like the past had just walked out of the ocean. 3 years ago, she told me she needed space. It was a quiet night, and I had just come home from work. She was already packed. No fight, no tears, just that word, space. I didn't chase her, not because I didn't care, but because I did. Too much. Enough to understand that chasing someone already gone is like begging a ghost to breathe. For months, I convinced myself it was my fault. I worked too much. I was distant. I made her feel unseen. All those rehearsed explanations she planted in my mind bloomed exactly how she wanted. Then came the envelope. No return address. Inside, a photo. Her holding a child, a boy, 2 years old maybe. Her smile looked genuine. His eyes, mine. Or so I thought. I remember sitting there, the world narrowing into a single point of silence. The math didn't add up. The timeline didn't fit. He was conceived before she left, before space. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. People say you move on by letting go. I did the opposite. I moved on by holding everything still. I found her through fragments, social media crumbs, hidden tags, a friend's careless post. Different city, new life. The child had her last name, not mine. It took months of patience to build a quiet trail. A paternity test wasn't hard to arrange. One strand of her hair from a mutual friend's visit, a blurry photo of the boy with a fallen milk tooth. Science doesn't lie. People do. When the results came in, I didn't feel rage. Just emptiness. Negative. He wasn't mine. That night, I sat in the dark, staring at nothing. It wasn't the betrayal itself that gutted me. It was how easily she had rewritten our history. How she made me believe the distance was my fault, while she was already living another truth. I started to understand her. The lies, the deflection, the soft tone she used when cornered. It wasn't guilt. It was performance. She wasn't running from me. She was running from exposure. So I waited. 3 years of silence wasn't absence. It was preparation. When she saw me on that beach, she looked like someone standing over her own grave. The man beside her, I knew who he was. The colleague she once mentioned in passing. The one she swore was just a friend. I walked toward them slowly, feeling the sand shift beneath my shoes. Her son played near the waterline, building a small sand castle. I looked at him once, then back at her. 3 years, I said. My voice was calm, measured. You look well. She tried to speak, but her throat caught. The man looked between us, confused. I reached into my pocket and handed her a folded paper. She knew what it was before she opened it. I watched her hands tremble as she unfolded it. The paternity test. No words. Just numbers, percentages, and a truth sharper than any blade. Her breath broke into a shiver. The man leaned closer, reading over her shoulder. His expression changed, first confusion, then disgust. And in that small silence between us, I saw her world collapse quietly. No shouting, no pleading, just that look. The one people make when they realize the lie they built a life upon has finally run out of oxygen. I used to blame myself, I said softly, for not being enough, for pushing you away. Her eyes glistened, not from remorse, just fear. Then I realized you never left because of me. You left because of him. She tried to speak, please, but I lifted a hand. Don't. You've already said enough. The man stepped back. The distance between them widened, invisible but permanent. I turned toward the child. He was still playing, unaware. Take care of him, I said quietly. He deserves truth, even if it ruins you. She reached out, but I stepped away before her fingers could touch the air between us. You always said the truth doesn't change anything, I said. You were wrong. It changes everything. Then I walked past her, leaving footprints the tide would soon erase. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The sound behind me, the sharp intake of her breath, the man's muttered curse, the beginning of an argument, was enough. It was over. Not with fire, but with silence. I sat on a rock further down the beach, watching the waves erase the footprints I'd left. There's something poetic about that. The sea takes everything eventually. Secrets, faces, names. For 3 years, she lived in my mind rent-free, haunting every quiet corner. Now she's just noise, dissolving in the distance. I thought closure would feel like victory. It doesn't. It feels like quiet acceptance. Like standing at the edge of something once sacred and realizing it means nothing anymore. Some wounds don't bleed. They calcify. And in that stillness, I understood. I didn't lose her. She lost the version of me who cared. I stood, brushed the sand off my hands, and began walking toward the pier. Behind me, the waves swallowed the last traces of our history. I didn't turn around. I never will.